the technology, whoever made it, is something that really couldn't be recreated. And there's so much in the skull that the more you study it, the more unusual it is. So,
would you rotate it for the camera, please? Would you mind? Just very slowly.
In what way do you think it's so? The technology is so special. Could you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, the technology. Well, the fact is,
could it be created today if we had a crystal this big?
Well, it would. The problem is the carving of the jaw, and that's what is so exciting and messes up the scientists. The scientists want to come in. They made tests and they found they couldn't find any kind of tool marks or anything on the whole skull, but there were some around the jaw and the teeth. But when Dolan cracked the tooth when it was at Hewlett Packard, he did restoration on it to repair it. So it's hard to say where the markings came from, but the thing is, even so, the thing that blows the scientist's mind is the fact is they can't figure out how the skull was separated. And it being separated, and with Hewlett Packard's test, the top half of the skull and the jaw are the same piece of crystal. And and that right there, how they could separate the two with technology even today would be pretty much impossible. And the fact is how they put prisms inside the skull, how they put the lenses in there that work through the eye to the eye sockets, that would take like zero gravity to try to do it today. And I don't think we could really duplicate it even with zero gravity. So who did it, how they did it, that's what makes the skull so interesting. But the real thing about the skull of what it is what you feel about it. People pick up this energy, this specialness. And so,
well, crystals, in general, will give you energy. You can combine amethyst and put your hand. I get energy. The reason I'm doing this, I get energy with my hands, and I can feel vortexes.
Okay, did you feel it outside?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's not like it.
It's not like right here.
Yeah, the wave.
It's waves going out.
When you put your hands by it, it's a connection to it.
Sure.
But if you can have your hands out here and you can feel it, you can be out across the street really and pick it up.
Well, I actually felt it when we were coming up the stairs. I could feel there's a vibration now that's going on down the hall, so to speak, because of the presence of the thing.
So so that's kind of there's a little bit unusual than just because it's crystal, but
so. How many years has this skull been in your life?
Let's see, probably about off and on for probably 12 years.
Okay. And what has it changed your life? Do you feel?
Completely, yeah. It's especially my life now is just like it's a fast-moving river. Things happen. It's like in just pick a month, like August. I went to Germany, Switzerland, Austria, met a lot of people, did a lot of lectures, come back, somebody from England comes over and stays with me, somebody from Italy comes and stays with me. One of them, maybe the person from Italy had to go left, but the one from England stayed right to the last day, and then I took off and went to Sedona and Scottsdale to do lectures, get back, and then I do another. It's just like so it takes you. It's kind of like links you to the rest of the people in the planet, and also it pulls me and puts me in positions. Like I'm down here, I don't know exactly why, but I'm running into these people that have the need to be here. The need I'm finding the country to be an amazing place, and I think there's some really special energy spots. And the skull, one of the jobs it does, it works on the heart chakra, opening people's heart to this universal love. But what it also does is it works on the ley lines of the earth, and it helps to balance out the energy. And what's so important with the shift that's coming in 2012, it's like if it's the earth is out of balance at all, when all this energy hits it, it's gonna, it'll just fly like anywhere. Could be. We wouldn't want to see what could happen. But if we can work with people on these grid lines and open up the energy and make it in balance, then the energy hitting it could make it a lot less, and that's one of the reasons I do this.
So you think that's one of the things?
Well,
have you been to Stonehenge and to Egypt, to the pyramids?
Let's see, I have to go to Egypt to the pyramids, and the skull has been to Stonehenge, yes.
Okay, so you still have to go to the pyramids.
Yeah, and I feel that's important, one of my important things that I need to go. And it's not just, I think it's Thebes or wherever that area is supposed to be a special area that has some kind of energy I need to go to. So, but I find that where I'm supposed to go, the people call and say, "Hey, we would like to do a lecture here," and it seems to be the right place. So, if that's the place, I'll probably be there.
I see.
Okay, it was found in 1924.
I listened to your lecture, but wasn't sure where you kind of stepped in.
Okay, yeah. What happened? It was found by F.A. Mitchell Hedges. Had it since the Mayans gave it back to him in 1927.
But the marvelous young girl found it. Actually.
Yeah, well, it was his adopted daughter Anna. And they did it. Well, they found it together. Yeah.
Okay.
But he had it till 59. When he passed away, it went back to Anna, and she had it to 2007.
Really?
Yeah, in 2007. But what happened is I met her. There's a lot of things in Anna's life and Mitchell Hedges' life that had parallel things that happened to me. And I was in Panama, a lot of the places they were at, and I felt a connection right away to the skull when I saw pictures of it. In '81, I heard about it, where it was at, and I went up to see her and met with her, and we became really good friends. And she allowed me to go with her when she did different lectures and stuff all over the world. So I was able to take her around the world, go to these different sites, spiritual sites around the world. And so that was, became really good friends, and she's an amazing person. So I have a total respect for her. It's a really neat person.
So is she still alive?
No, what happened is she traveled with her, she moved from place to place a lot. So she moved from Canada to England back to Canada. These are full moves with new houses and everything.
Sure.
And then she came back in the early 2000, and she was in Canada, and she was very sick. And I talked to her on the phone, and I said, there was no one really around her at the time, so I said, come to Indiana and I'll take care of you. And she decided to do that. She came down there, and she spent the last 8 years of her life with me, and I took care of her, and she taught me what she wanted to be done with the skull, how it was supposed to be handled, and what she believed in. And so I gave my word, and that's what I'm doing right now, is carrying out my word. My word was that I would take the skull and make it available to people that felt the importance of it, okay? People that felt that not everybody is drawn to the skull, but some people are really drawn to the skull, and they come from all over. So by opening it up to those people, that's part of my promise that I promised to her, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay. And what is, was there a religious significance for Anna and the skull?
And the skull? Well, you know what, Anna and myself, I'm a very spiritual person. I feel the connection to God very closely and very importantly. I'm not, at this point in my life, a religious person in the fact I don't believe in the dogma of religion, but I work on the spirituality and working on, I believe that the true essence of religion is inside in the person, and going into that person and finding that connection is what I feel it's all about. And the skull is a tool for mankind. The Mayas believed it was a god to them. It was like their god had returned. But what it really is, it's a tool to open the heart to that universal love. So I feel the connection with the skull, and I feel spiritually, if I can help people, if I can help the world, and use the tool to do it, that's what I feel is a very important job.
Did Anna believe in the spiritual side, or did she believe in a more religious side?
No, Anna was a very spiritual person.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we had friends that they had this one friend. She was a secretary for the Mother Teresa, and worked with Mother Teresa for a while. And she met Anna. She said Anna had the same vibration as Mother Teresa, and that's how she was. She was a person that if you met her, it's like you knew her all your life, and she made you feel that way.
Okay.
But she also, she was very connected to the other side. Mm-hmm. So connected, it's just like in the last part of her life, there was so much psychic and different forces around her. It was just like unbelievable. It's like it was the veil between the other side and her, where it's just so close. It was just like it was popping through. It was pretty amazing. But so she was a very spiritual person and very special.
So, did she ever talk about any beings that were associated with the skull?
Oh yes, yeah. She felt there is different beings that have connection with the skull, and they're the ones that work through it. And the Mayans are very connected to the skull. The Mayans of Lubantun, that area, they're a Mayan group that's different than the average Mayan, and they have connections with the ETs, and they have connections with the skulls, and
do you know which ETs?
Let's see. I wouldn't say probably the Pleiades is probably the ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tall blondes.
Tall blondes. Yeah.
And where were you from originally?
Indiana.
Really?
Like Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Sounds good, right? I love adventure.
That makes sense.
I love adventure. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, and that's life is an adventure with the skull. It keeps you really going. I'll tell you.
So, in a sense, you didn't actually start your journey until 2007. Would you say?
No, my journey, started. As far as taking it around and doing stuff with people, it really started after Anna passed away. She passed away on my birthday in 2007. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she found it on her birthday, her 17th birthday.
Really?
Yeah, and she passed it to me on my birthday.
On your birthday?
It wasn't my 17th though, but I won't go into that. But,
surprise.
Yeah.
Kerry?
Yes.
I have one or two questions. I wonder if you could also capture me just briefly.
Sure.
With this
Absolutely.
beautiful project.
We're here for a half hour. That's all we have here. So,
and that may be just about.
Oh, okay.
Other people have booked sessions, is my understanding.
Sure. I don't come from Indiana, but I've got the hat. Right?
You got the hat, yeah. I was admiring that hat. That is cool.
So, and I've been a little bit of an adventurer in my time. I'm very, very curious about the Crystal Boy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm certainly not going to be asking you any information about locations or plans or logistics, but what is your feeling of the importance of that? Because
I feel it, there's these different objects are pieces of important in a puzzle, and the skull is an important piece, and also the Crystal Boy is an important piece.
And there will be more.
And when they come together, different things are very powerful things can happen. I'm not saying that the crystal boy, like each object, has its special gift and special purpose. The crystal boy, we don't know exactly what it does, but I know it's probably a very important piece in this overall puzzle that we're working on.
And you do have plans to retrieve this, I assume.
And see what it is. Well, the way I want to retrieve it is, I could have retrieved it with NBC, which had been fine, but I think they would not have had the right thing for the skull. They would not have been
the right energy.
Right energy. Well, they wouldn't have gone to the right place. It would have probably been locked up into some. It needs to go with someone. I would find it, but it wouldn't be like, I want to keep the skull with me. I'd like to find it and have it go with some of the spiritual leaders, maybe down in that area, as long as they're going to work together, so we can work on this involvement that we're working on.
Yes, but you do have some kind of a plan for how you're going to handle that.
Yeah,
because my sense,
I have a plan.
This is important.
Yeah, I do have a plan, and it's just this year has been one thing after another, and I thought I would have been able to do it by now, but I just haven't had the chance.
This is a serious offer, and you must have heard this from many other people. If you want anyone to follow you around with a camera, we're equipped to do this, and it would be a huge privilege for us.
We did interview somebody. Her name is Miriam Delicato, and they are talking about having a major gathering of the peoples of the planet, mainly with the Hopi and the Mayan, coming forward and talking about the prophecies. And they feel also that indigenous people everywhere should be sort of connecting with this gathering. And the crystal skull may be an important ingredient in that. So I'm just throwing that out with you. This would be happening in Hopi land, and I wonder if you have been to the Hopi.
Well, I'm a very good friend and someone I really care about, respect, is Grandfather Martin, and he's the elder, and he's the prophet for the Hopi Nation.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I'm very much for the Hopis, and I believe in their work and what they're doing.
And have you brought the skull to the Hopi?
Yes, I have. That was one of my...
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was drawn to do, and we did that this year.
Okay.
And we met with them several times. Just a matter of fact, the last time was just 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So you were probably right near me. I now live in Sedona.
Sedona, okay. Yeah, I was in Sedona. I was in
Because I thought I heard that you'd been around.
Yeah, I was in Scottsdale. Well, let's see. 2 weeks ago, I was in. Well, it wasn't even 2 weeks ago. It was last week. I was in Sedona. I was in Angel Valley doing a lecture for Angel Valley.
Okay.
But 2 weeks before that, I was in Scottsdale, and then from Scottsdale, I went to up to Sedona, and we did some work with the Hopi and stuff. It was pretty interesting. Did you ever hear of the crystal orb?
No.
Crystal orb is a very special thing. It was found in about 30 years ago by a gentleman called Ray Brown. And if you look on some of the internet, you could probably find some of that. He was really big at the time. But Ray Brown was scuba diving on this island of Bimini, or near Bimini.
I've heard this story.
Okay,
incredible story.
Yeah, and he went under.
Yes.
And they found this in a pyramid.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the people that were with him went back out looking for stuff, and they were mysteriously killed. But he was left, and he passed away a couple of years later, and he gave the orb to his teacher, telling him never to show the orb to anybody till the right time.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Well, I did a show for NBC, and it was about the crystal skull and me looking for stuff in Central America, the one I was talking about. And when I was doing this, he watched it, and he saw the skull, and he saw me, and he felt like he felt that he had to show the orb to me, and they needed to be together. But he thought that was ridiculous because he didn't know where I was or anything. So what happened is I was going out there for a lecture to an area where to these two people, and they said they had a friend there, and the friend they were talking about the orb, and she said, "I know where it is, but I can't tell you." But they said, "Well, you tell him that the skull's coming. Maybe he wants to see it." And when they did that, he was all excited. We brought the orb and the skull together, and when we brought the orb and skull together for the first time, we did it twice. The second time, something different happened, but the first time, the skull turned white. And the orb turned gold.
Wow, wonderful.
Wow.
But the thing is, the amazing thing about this is, I have a picture and I can show it to you.
I would love to see this.
Yes, we would.
Very much.
Absolutely.
I read about this orb in Charles Berlitz's book on the Bermuda Triangle many years ago, and I've never forgotten about it. It lodged in my mind. I thought, this is incredibly important, but I thought it had disappeared.
It did disappear for all these years until it just came out. And what happened is, the orb, it's a crystal ball and has 3 pyramids built inside of it. But and it's pure crystal. But when we put them together, the skull turned white and the orb turned gold. If you look around his hand, you can see white light shooting around.
That is amazing. Do you have plans to do more, to work more with the skull and the orb?
Oh, of course, yeah. We were working very good together. Matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I was able to get together with them again. And when we did it this time, the skull turned blue, and there was blue light going all over the ground. And the next day, we were in this room that had yellow tablecloths and yellow walls. And you're looking at through the viewfinder on the camera, and it was yellow walls and yellow tablecloth. and when you took the picture, the skull turned blue, the tablecloth turned blue, and the walls turned blue. And you did we took about 15 pictures, and every time it did the same thing.
Incredible.
So some pretty strong energy. It's Atlantean orb and Atlantean skull get together. It's a major. I think it was like a connection, an old connection is what it felt like.
And there must be more.
Yeah. There's more, and that's what we're doing right now. Is we're putting a call out to try to bring this stuff forward.
Yes,
I believe a lot of the ancient people, the Mayas or whatever, have some of this stuff in their own possession that they're afraid to bring out because they know if it comes out that the government tries to take it away from them.
Right.
Yes. And the Tibetans, they'll have something up there too, without any doubt at all. Yes.
Yeah, and I think maybe even there's some here in Australia. I think the Aborigines might have a skull.
Okay.
And there's a possibility when I bring this skull down there, we might bring the skulls together. And if that happens, I think that could be a major thing.
Yes.
That might be one of the reasons why I'm here.
I understand, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you feel that you're on a great sense of mission, and you're not totally sure what it is, but you're going down this river.
Yeah, just going with the flow.
You're going with the flow.
Yeah,
we really understand this.
The journey is the message. Well, that's wonderful. And for the sake of the camera, can you please tell us tell us your name and?
My name is Bill Homan.
Homan. Okay.
Yeah.
And the original person who had it was Anne.
Okay, it was found by F.A. Mitchell Hedges and Anna Mitchell Hedges. F.A. Mitchell Hedges was a famous British explorer, and there are people that people to know about, because in this day and age you don't have any heroes, and they were heroes, and they didn't just do the talk, they did the walk. And that's what's pretty neat. So that's one of the reasons I go around, is to get people to know about their lives.